I found this online from John Pavolitz. Now, he writes this to a person that she knows personally. But the fact is, considering everything that's going on with the Trumpers being so angry, so sad, not to mention the videos I saw about that woman who was crying her eyes out, I figured this was appropriate. This is a sad day for America. That's all these Trumpers could say on social media said during the inauguration of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. A sad day. I wonder what made it sad for them watching it. Was it when a man who suffered an unimaginable personal tragedy, taking the oath of office at the age of 78, after coming out of retirement to run for office because he felt his obligation to a nation to save it from a historically harmful presence? Is this what made them sad? Was it the swearing in of our first female African Asian American vice president in our nation's history? Is this why they're sad? Was it the radiant reading of a 22-year-old African American poet laureate, Amanda Gorman, who overcame a speech impediment to elegantly deliver a brilliant word of stratospheric hope to a nation so desperately in need of it? Is this what they're sad about? Was it the glorious prophetic fire of Reverend Sylvester Beeman, his benediction as he declared, and I quote, "In our common humanity, we will seek out the wounded and bind their wounds. We will seek the healing for those who are sick and diseased. We will befriend the lonely, the least, and the left out," unquote. As professed Christians, is this why they're so angry about and sad about? Maybe it was the show of solidarity by the living presidents from both sides of the aisle who assembled to witness an inauguration on the very site of what only 2 weeks prior was a deadly and failed attempt of a domestic terrorist attack to violently prevent the transfer of power. Is this the cause for their despair? Or was it in President Biden's speech themselves? Are they angry about that? When he declared,
"Today, we celebrate the triumph not of a candidate, but of a cause, the cause of democracy."
were they sad about seeing a man in power not make something about himself, but about the nation he was charged with serving, about him not needing praise or attention for a millisecond? Was it when they heard him say,
So now, on this hallowed ground where just a few days ago, violence sought to shake the Capitol's very foundation, we come together as one nation, under God, indivisible, to carry out the peaceful transfer of power as we have for more than 2 centuries?
is this clear condemnation of violent domestic terrorism a moment for sadness and anger for them? Did their sadness come when the president declared,
To overcome these challenges, to restore the soul and secure the future of America, requires so much more than words. It requires the most elusive of all things in a democracy: unity. Unity. In another January, on New Year's Day in 1863, Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation. When he put pen to paper, the president said, and I quote, "If my name ever goes down into history, it'll be for this act, and my whole soul is in it." My whole soul is in it. Today, on this January day, my whole soul is in this, bringing America together, uniting our people, uniting our nation, And I ask every American to join me in this cause.
Was this something other than a bow posture from a sitting president, an occasion to grieve for these people? Have they been so conditioned by a small, fragile man whose only play was vilification, demoralization, and war rhetoric that the very idea of uniting a country now brings anger and mourning? Was it when the president himself said, was hearing a Republican in the first 10 minutes of Joe Biden's presidency words of affirmation and compassion and validation that as a non-Republican never once offered to me in 4 years? Are these so angry to be considered instead of condemned by a sitting president? Was it him being to these people? Was it his replacement never cared to be for me a leader who saw me? Is this what they're angry about? Are these people so feared and filled now with despair when the 46th president of the United States declared,
"There is truth and there are lies. Lies told for power and for profit. And each of us has a duty and a responsibility as citizens, as Americans, and especially as leaders who have pledged to honor our Constitution and protect our nation, to defend the truth and defeat the lies." Look,
have 48 months of abject falsehoods and manufactured reality now made an affirmation of objective truth a source for personal sadness for these people? And was it President Biden's closing in which he promised,
fellow Americans, I close the day where I began, with the sacred oath. Before God and all of you, I give you my word. I will always level with you. I will defend the Constitution. I'll defend our democracy. I'll defend America. And I'll give all of you, keep everything I do in your service, thinking not of power, but of possibilities, not of personal interest, but the public good. And together, we shall write an American story of hope, not fear, of unity, not division, of light, not darkness, a story of decency and dignity, love and healing, greatness and goodness. May this be the story that guides us, the story that inspires us, and the story that tells ages yet to come that we answered the call of history. We met the moment. Democracy and hope, truth and justice did not die on our watch but thrived. That America secured liberty at home and stood once again as a beacon to the world. That is what we owe our forebears, one another, and generation to follow. So, with purpose and resolve, we turn to those tasks of our time, sustained by faith, driven by conviction, and devoted to one another and the country we love with all our hearts. May God bless America, and may God protect our troops. Thank you, America.
Was this clear open-heart declaration to spend himself on behalf of people and a nation he loves a moment of anger for these people? See, I'm going to try to reach out and ask them specifically why all this is sad, why this is angering all of them, while watching this inauguration of President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. But I'm not hopeful to get a straight answer from any of them, because I don't think they even know. I imagine they, like all the other Trumpers in the nation, the QAnons, and everyone else, like so many in this country, have been so weaned on a false story of their oppression, impeding demise, so gaslit by their leader, Donald Trump, into being perpetually terrified that in this moment, they can't clearly see. They can't clearly see that normal is better, that more diverse is better, that words of kindness are better. They can't see that this president is for them, and that he's for me, that he's for the country, our nation. They can't see that this president, while not always perfect, actually gives a damn about all of us in the ways that their leader, Donald John Trump, never did. And that makes me sad. CTP, know the truth. God bless. Peace to the left, justice to the right.